So with the staying on track strategy, we were able to get into the playoffs and also win a few games there, but not able to win a Super Bowl. So let's take a look at another scenario and how it would be like if we would go all in from the beginning. We're back in week 7, 2021, and this time choosing another strategy. We are going all in to try to win a Super Bowl as soon as possible. The team has potential, but still I made a lot of moves to ensure immediate success. First of all, I saw Kevin Seidler in free agency. He's an immediate upgrade for us on guard. And the blockbuster move was to trade away Kirk Cousins. He was actually third currently in terms of passing yards, so he still had quite some value. And we traded for Russell Wilson and DJ Reed, cornerback, but most importantly, Russell Wilson, the quarterback. We also gave away our first round pick, but well worth to get 100 overall quarterback. He's very, very expensive, but could be worth the money. He is awesome and hopefully helps us to also achieve some success in the passing game. Other than that, I mostly traded away players. Christian Darrisaw and Dalvin Tomlinson, both fairly well rated, but not starting for us. We gave them away to trade for JJ Watt. He's very old, but also 100 overall. Immediate upgrade on edge rusher number 2. With Danielle Hunter together, they can really form a dangerous pass rush. Then I traded away Bashard Breeland and Xavier Woods for Rokon Smith to have some help on linebacker. And another very big trade. Adam Thielen is gone, together with some backup players on defensive end and linebacker, to trade for Julio Jones. He is also very old, so not in our team long term, but could be an immediate upgrade. The offense looks awesome. Russell Wilson, Dalvin Cook, both 100 overall on quarterback and running back. Dalvin Cook is going to be the focus again, now behind a better offensive line with Kevin Seidler on left guard, Wyatt Davis still on right guard, and wide receiver. We upgraded Adam Thielen with Julio Jones. 94 overall, awesome hands, very, very expensive, 32 years old. So as said, not here long term, but helping us with immediate success. Defensively, JJ Watt helps us to create a really good D-line. 100 overall, great tackling, awesome strength. He's fairly cheap this year, going to be more expensive next year. So let's hope that he can already help us this year to win a Super Bowl. Linebacker together with Anthony Barr and Eric Kendricks. We now have Rokon Smith, 88 overall, only 24 years old and on a very cheap contract. That was one reason I traded for him and not for an even better linebacker to have a lower cap number over the next 3 years. He can help us for sure. Cornerback DJ Reed, the new addition in the Kirk Cousins Russell Wilson trade. He is also very young, 24 years old on a very, very cheap contract, 85 overall, and if he plays up to his overall, he is going to be very cheap for this scenario with this contract. So also a really important move to get a little bit better in the secondary. No changes on safety, Harrison Smith and Cameron Bynum starting. And a rare stuff move, I fired our defensive coordinator mid-season to hire an internal one. So he does not have the best stats, but most importantly, he runs a 4-3 defense. That's what I wanted to have. Our D-line is very good with 2 defensive tackles. So I wanted to focus on a 4-3 scheme. Let's see if that helps us to improve the defense in the second half of the season. Week 11, we're currently 5-4, so not really what I was hoping for, but I signed back Anthony Barr, Sheldon Richardson, and Mackenzie Alexander. All are back for next season. All those contracts are backloaded to stay as competitive as possible. Maybe that will cost us our future, but the goal is to achieve success short term, go all in, and win a Super Bowl. Not able to bring back Kevin Seidler, that's going to be too expensive, so not much cap room left. Let's see what we can do next season, but let's first focus on finishing the season strongly. We are finishing 10-7 on the year. The Green Bay Packers crushed it, so we were not able to win the division, but at least made the playoffs. Still, the record is worse than I hoped for. We created an awesome team. There is no obvious weakness. So, yeah, really surprised that we finished with 4 losses after the 3-3 start. But at least the stats changed a little bit compared to the stay on track scenario. We are better in passing, actually finishing 6th on the year. So great offense, both on passing and rushing, and defensively also a great rush defense. Pass defense, again, really bad, but at least not last placed in the league. So a little bit of improvement here. Russell Wilson with over 3,000 yards, 23 touchdowns. Could be better, but maybe there's potential. For next season, Dalvin Cook with nearly 2,000 yards, 22 touchdowns. That's really good. Doubtful, unfortunately, for the playoff game. Justin Jefferson led our team in terms of yards. 7 touchdowns, by the way. JJ Watt, our new addition, and what a new addition. 14 sacks. That is good. That is really good. He was an awesome addition for us. Really helped us to get a little bit better on defense, and interception wise, not much that we're seeing here. Troy Dye, our linebacker. So our first playoff game in the all-in scenario against the Dallas Cowboys, and we're out. We're out of the playoffs already in game 1. Not able to win the Super Bowl. That is really sad. We cannot win. Green Bay Packers are going to be the Super Bowl champions, but yeah, our season ends way earlier than I expected. Dalvin Cook again in the Pro Bowl, but he's the only one on offense. Defensively, at least, we have Michael Pierce, our defensive tackle, and JJ Watt, our new addition, on edge in the Pro Bowl. But yeah, disappointing season ends. We made it to the playoffs, but had way higher expectations for an all-in team. Let's see how next season looks like. Season 2, it's getting crazy, as you can see. Again, no first round pick, but 2 4th, 2 5th, and 2 7th round pick. Traded away some backups that took up way too much cap room. And in addition to that, I signed Joel Bitonio, guard, for our first round pick, and added Jason Verrett, Steve McLendon, and Kevin Seidler after free agency. They were not signed by anyone. I know there are so many good players also after the free agency period. I could sign everyone, but I don't want to cheat too much. So I decided to take one offensively and one defensively, not even the best ones. But Kevin Zeitler played for us last year on guard, and Jason Verrett should be a good addition for our cornerback room. Draft class is the same as in the stay on track scenario, cannot change that. The only player I drafted again was Michael Odom, 5th round legend. Let's see if he can also make an impact in this scenario. Other than that, no first round pick, of course. Signed a guard, 74 overall in the 3rd round. A good fullback in the later rounds, and Carl Lewis, wide receiver, with our first pick in the draft, end of round 2. And now look at this team. Really crazy offense, 100 overall quarterback and running back, really good wide receiver, also with a rookie now in there. And the O-line is elite now with Joel Bitonio, our first round pick for next year that we spent, and Kevin Zeitler, who came back. Bitonio both outstanding in pass and run blocking, 100 overall. 12 million is fine in my opinion for a 100 overall player, but cap is getting really, really tight. Defensively, no changes in the D-line. J.J. Watt and Daniil Hunter should be a really great 1-2 punch at edge. Linebacker also the same as last year with an addition in the draft. And cornerback, we brought in Jason Verrett to play cornerback 3. Mackenzie Alexander, we paid him, but now only a backup role. Safety, Harrison Smith, Michael Odom, of course, and Cameron Bynum. Yes, special team important as well, especially since I was able to save a lot of cap here. Our punter, Colquitt, retired, and on kicker, I released our starting kicker to sign 2 cheaper deals to have a little bit more cap available. And also another change on coaching side, I did not sign back our internal defensive coordinator that I signed last season. In week 7, I signed a free agent defensive coordinator, Roy Quintana. Let's hope that with his 4-3 defense scheme and focus on the trenches, he's able to get the best out of our defense. There are also some really good players who only have 1 year left on their contract. Won't be able to bring them back since we already spent most of the cap room for next year. Hoping to bring back JJ Watt. Let's see what's possible there. But this should be our season. We have a really, really good team. We are all in and hopefully ready to make a push for the Super Bowl. Well, that was fast. JJ Watt is back already in week 2, but with a cap hit of 22 million next year, we're already over the cap. We need to get creative next year, but the focus really is on winning the Super Bowl this year with going all in. 6-2 at the mid-season mark, leading the NFC North and also being second in the NFC. Let's hope that we can continue on this pace and maybe securing a bye week. Really important win against the 8-3 Giants. We are now 8-2, and with that, we are taking the lead on securing the bye week. Let's continue on this pace and keep winning. The season is over and we're not only on top of the NFC North, but also on top of the whole NFC, securing a bye week. And we had actually a winning streak of 9 wins before losing against the Lions in week 18. But only 3 losses on the season. That is really, really great and definitely what I expected from the team. Look at that. Best rushing offense as always, and passing offense. Not the worst. And speaking of not the worst, we're now average in terms of passing yards. So new defensive coordinator, but also maybe new cornerbacks that helped us to get better there. A 2nd best defense in terms of points allowed. 4th best rushing defense. So overall, big jump into the right direction and well-deserved the bye week. Russell Wilson, a little bit better year than last year, 3,500 yards, 28 touchdowns with only 7 interceptions. Dalvin Cook again, nearly 2,000 yards, 19 touchdowns this time. Justin Jefferson leads the team with over 1,000 receiving yards and 8 receiving touchdowns. JJ Watt, very important, one of the most important signings we had, 14 sacks. And Cameron Bynum, our leader in terms of interceptions. JJ Watt not only leads our team in terms of sacks, but also the whole league. So very important player for us. Now the moment of truth. We need to get our first playoff win in this scenario. And we are playing the New Orleans Saints. Well, that sounds familiar. Can we also beat them in the all-in scenario? Yes, we're winning in the divisional championship. And now in the NFC championship game, we're playing against the Dallas Cowboys. Can we beat them? Yes, we are in the Super Bowl against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And now we're playing against the best team in the NFL, Pittsburgh Steelers, with a 15-2 record. And the question is, are we able to beat them? No! Oh no, we're losing in the Super Bowl. Pittsburgh Steelers are Super Bowl champion in overtime. We are all in and losing in the Super Bowl. That really hurts. Season awards, JJ Watt, well-deserved Defensive Player of the Year. Pro Bowl, Dalvin Cook leads the league in rushing yards and comes into the Pro Bowl. No O-liners for us, surprisingly. Roquan Smith, our new addition and linebacker from last year, Michael Pierce and JJ Watt are our Pro Bowlers. A great season comes to an end. We were just one game shy of winning the Super Bowl. That is so sad. But all in is not over yet. The window is still open. At least I hope so. Let's see if we can improve the team next year. Season 3, and this time I did not trade away our first round pick, but made a few other moves. I traded away Mackenzie Alexander to get Amadi from the Seahawks. He's also a cornerback. I did that solely for cap purposes. Amadi is only a little bit below 1 million in cap hit, whereas Mackenzie Alexander was at 7 million. So I freed up a little bit of cap space to bring in MARLON Humphrey. I actually traded away Julio Jones and Oscar Perkins, who I believe was a rotational player. Don't even remember him. But still, Julio Jones, unfortunately, too much cap hit, 28 million. I traded him away to bring in MARLON Humphrey. He has a cap room of 20 million per year, but should be well worth it. 96 overall, really good speed, agility and intelligence. I hope that he can be our lockdown cornerback that we need to really get better in terms of passing defense and maybe also win the last game this time. As a replacement for Julio Jones, I brought in DeAndre Hopkins, 91 overall, with outstanding hands, 99, and only a very small cap hit since I signed him after free agency. As said, the last time there are so many good players in there, but I'm not planning on signing them this time. I only signed one. Taking a look at the rookies, I was lucky in round 2. Dean McCool with 81 overall is a pretty good guard that fits our scheme, heavily focused on run blocking. Also, I really like his personality in terms of work ethic and competitiveness. So he could be Our new starting guard, since we lost Kevin Seidler in free agency, was not able to bring him back this time. So on a very fairly reasonable contract for rookies, end of round 2, a good run blocking guard. Round 3, Corey Engle, cornerback, he dropped because of off-field issues. I mean, not the best way to sign this player, nevertheless, but he was a round 1 talent, if I'm not mistaken. Signed him end of round 3. So hopefully he can keep the off-field issues down, and if he does, he could be a steal in round 2 and also helping us in the secondary. Other than that, I also drafted a lot of players just to play and fill up backup positions. Offensively, Julio Jones is gone, DeAndre Hopkins fills up the free spot, and we have Dean McCool starting as our right guard next to Joel Bitonio. I think the O-line should still be very, very good. Defensively, no changes in the D-line, also no changes on linebacker, just a few new backups, but still Roquan Smith, who's playing on his last year of the contract together with Anthony Barr and Eric Kendricks. And on cornerback, Marlon Humphrey, our new CB1, together with DJ Reed, Amadi, and our rookie ENGLE. So hopefully we have a better secondary now. On safety, Harrison Smith is still not leaving us, so still part of the team. Michael Odom backing him up, and Cameron Bynum also starting on free safety. Special teams, rookie kicker, second-year punter, but hopefully not punting too much this year. Mid-season mark, we are 7-1, leading the NFC North and also on pace for maybe securing a bye week in the second year in a row. Week 13, we are 9-2. And more importantly, Justin Jefferson finally signed. Sounds a little bit familiar, but also in this scenario, he is not willing to sign a contract. Took a lot of money and a lot of weeks to convince him, but he's back, and so is Roquan Smith and Garrett Bradbury staying on the team long term. Problem now is that we're already 26 million over the cap for next year. Of course, paying Russell Wilson and JJ Watt, but also now Justin Jefferson. A lot of money. Here you can see it. It's also heavily backloaded to at least free up some cap space for next year. And same for Roquan Smith and Garrett Bradbury, making the contracts heavily backloaded to get a little bit of flexibility in there. But I mean, it's not much flexibility with already 26 million over the cap for next year and not being able to bring back Michael Pierce, DeAndre Hopkins as our two most important players right now. But yeah, having an all-in team just means that we cannot sign everyone since cap is limited. The season ends 11-6, and we're currently on a 3-game losing streak. That's of course not good at all. We also gave away the division title to the Green Bay Packers again, playing in the wild card now. In terms of stats, we were really good, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Finishing top 10 for every stat. JJ Watt with 12 sacks, Cameron Bynum with 5 interceptions, and offensively, best rushing offense as always. Dalvin Cook only 9 touchdowns this time, but also nearly 2,000 rushing yards. And Russell Wilson missed 2 games, but also over 3,000 yards passing with 25 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson, our leading receiver, with his best season so far in terms of yards and touchdowns. Now it's playoff time, wildcard game against the Green Bay Packers. We lost against them twice this year. Are we now able to get revenge in the wildcard? Yes, we're winning 32-20 and are now in the divisional round playing against the 13-4 Seattle Seahawks. And we're out of the playoffs. That's so annoying. We are all in, but just not able to win it all this time. The journey ends in the divisional round, losing against the Seahawks, who are now in the Super Bowl, and winning against the Cleveland Browns. No season awards for us, unfortunately. And also the Pro Bowl rosters look different. No Dalvin Cook this year. So this is really surprising. But we have Garrett Bradbury on the offensive line, Justin Jefferson, our first Pro Bowl wide receiver, Roquan Smith, who we signed back on linebacker, and both of our edge rush duo, JJ Watt and Danielle Hunter. The team looked so good this year. It's really sad to see us losing once again in the playoffs. The team is really good, but just not good enough to win the Super Bowl. Not the best end after a 5-0 start to the year. Our team is not getting better. It's getting more expensive. So let's see if we can still hold the window open for next year. Season 4, Sheldon Richardson retired, and we're running into really serious cap problems. And that's why there was no way around to trade away Russell Wilson and get rid of his cap hit of 45 million per year. He would have been in his final year of the contract. He was very good, but yeah, just too expensive. So I traded him away to trade up around 10 spots and also get a third round pick in return to draft our new quarterback. His name is Frank Gutierrez and he's an 84 overall. Good arm, good accuracy, good intelligence, also really good speed with 82 for a quarterback. That's not bad at all, and maybe he can also have some rushing touchdowns for us. I like the outlook of him. He had very good scouting grades and now also saves us 40 million in cap room. Of course, Russell Wilson was better, but I'm pretty sure that he can also have an impact for us and lead us to the playoffs. At least, let's hope so. Other than that, our second best rookie is a kicker. We needed one. I got one in round 4, maybe a little bit too early, but he seemed also really good. Also with that kick distance maybe helps us for long field goals. And the rest, as always, backup material, John Sawyer, edge, our second round pick. Maybe the biggest reach of them, but let's see if he can have an impact as a rotational player. Offensively, we don't have DeAndre Hopkins anymore, but I signed Julio Jones back on a 1-year deal, 84 overall, so he regressed a lot. Carl Lewis, now our wide receiver 2, Frank Gutierrez, our starting quarterback, and other than that, I also traded for David Njoku. I traded for him in exchange with Irv Smith, our current tight end. David Njoku is just a little bit better, more reliable hands and better overall, also good personality. So let's see if he can be a slight upgrade and improve our offense. Defensively, we lost both of our defensive tackles, Sheldon Richardson and Michael Pierce. I signed Vita Vea in free agency, or actually after free agency. He should be a really good run stopper, awesome strength. Tackling, of course, could be better. 29 years old, maybe also a solution for the next 2 or 3 years. Frank Green, third round rookie, starting next to Vita Vea. We have the same edge duo, linebackers also not changing anything at all. Same for cornerback, and on safety I signed Quandre Diggs in free agency. He should be a slight upgrade over Cameron Bynum. We had at least a little bit cap room available. I went after a few other guys, but Quandre Diggs was the only one who accepted. And Harrison Smith still sticking with us in the scenario. Our team got worse. I think we're still in win now mode. I think we have the squad to really make a run for the Super Bowl or at least the playoffs. But looking at those upcoming free agents, it's going to be pretty tough next year. Let's see who we're able to sign back. 8 games played, I signed back Brian O'Neill, DJ Reed and Vita Vea to new deals. Still planning to keep Ezra Cleveland to have our dominant O-line together again for next season. But for this one, we're leading the division 6-2. Also, the Packers are 6-2, but it looks good so far. We're 9-4 and Ezra Cleveland just signed. And with that, only 15 million in cap room left for next year. And I did not sign back JJ Watt, Anthony Barr, David Njoku. So there's still some really good players who we're just not able to afford anymore. This should be our year. Only 1 win in the last 4 games, 2 losses against the Green Bay Packers, and that's bringing us into the wild card. We're not winning the division. The Packers are ahead of us. And now we need to play in the wild card against the Atlanta Falcons. Are we able to win against the NFC South champion? Yes, just barely by 2 points. And now we are in the divisional game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 8-8, and we're winning. So we are in the NFC Championship game playing against the Green Bay Packers. Well, division game. Let's see if we're able to go into the Super Bowl. No, we are just shy again, losing the 3rd time this season against the Green Bay Packers. And they are also winning the Super Bowl. That hurts, just having a team in our division that is better than we are and able to win the Super Bowl, while we are not able to do that. Offensively, we took a step back, especially in terms of passing yards. Frank Gutierrez still with a good rookie season, over 3,000 yards, 21 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. There is, of course, room for more and room for improvement. Dalvin Cook took a slight step back, but still second best rushing offense in the league. Points, not our strong suit, but defensively, we were very good. Second in points allowed. Also, again, best rushing defense. JJ Watt with 12 sacks. Interceptions, not so many. Season awards, no one here for us. Gutierrez finishing 4th in terms of Offensive Rookie of the Year. Pro Bowl, Cook is in here again, so he's making his comeback. Garrett Bradbury, our center. Justin Jefferson for the NFC wide receiver position. Smith, Vea, Hunter, and Watt defensively. That's really great and shows how good this defense really was. Season 5, and there is not much left of the team. Most players are in free agency, no tight ends, O-line still the same, but we are really losing a lot of talent and need to find a way to stay competitive. One way is the rookie class, although it was not the best one. Kenneth Parham, wide receiver, end of round 1, 76 overall, with really good hands and agility, should be a day 1 starter. And the rest is, well, not the best. What a reach in round 2, 58 overall, edge rusher, so not a big help for us. Another way to strengthen the team was free agency. I signed a 23-year-old strong safety, former 2nd round pick, 85 overall. He's our long-term strong safety. Also signed Michael Odom back, our 5th round legend for 6 years, pretty cheap. Daniil Hunter was a cap casualty. I traded him away for Montez Sweat. He's not significantly worse, but significantly younger and cheaper in cap. And other than that, lots of players who are just new additions to our team with 1-year contracts. And Harrison Smith left due to our new safety addition. I traded him away to get Christian Barmore for our D-line. So if we update the depth chart, it looks not that bad anymore. We have Amari Cooper for 1 year to fill up the wide receiver core. David Njoku is back for 1 year. And defensively, Montez Sweat is replacing Daniil Hunter. JJ Watt left into retirement, and I signed Cameron Hayward for 1 year. Also pretty cheap as always. I was not going after the best free agents after free agency was over, but just signed fairly good players to fill up the roster. Traded for Christian Barmore, Vita Vea is back, and on linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is here for 1 year, maybe extending him long term. Cornerback Michael Odom is playing on nickel, and Victor Vigar is replacing Harrison Smith. We are 7-1 after 8 games. Our only loss against, well, the Green Bay Packers, as always. But mid-season mark, looking good so far. Season is over, but again, we are on a 2-game losing streak. We're just not able to win at the end of the season. Well, at least we won against the Green Bay Packers in the second game and also winning the division NFC North. The stats are also looking way better. We're having the best offense, Dalvin Cook leading the league again, and Frank Gutierrez this time with 3,800 yards, 30 touchdowns. Really great season by the second-year quarterback. Justin Jefferson, by the way, every year with more than 1,000 yards, also 10 touchdowns this year. He is a really, really important player for us and well worth the money. Montez Sweat, our new addition with 12 sacks, and Marlon Humphrey, 7 interceptions. That's really, really good. He's going to get franchise tagged. Although this is the last year, I want to keep him on the team for a potential future next year. Defensive stats, really good in rushing and also points allowed. Also middle of the road in terms of passing yards allowed. So overall, great performance by the team and better than I expected after getting a little bit worse than the year before. Playoffs are here. We missed the bye week by just 1 win now against the Seattle Seahawks, and the season is over. Just by that, what a great season. Performing over expectations and losing in overtime by a field goal. That hurts. So we were not able to win a Super Bowl despite going all in with the team. Final Pro Bowl, Dalvin Cook in here, well deserved. Garrett Bradbury, Justin Jefferson like last year. Marlon Humphrey also well deserved. Owusu-Koramoah, our new addition on linebacker for 1 year. Vita Vea, and that's it. So taking a look back at the last 5 seasons, we were able to get into the playoffs every single year, making it into the Pro Bowl once and losing in the divisional round, unfortunately. It is really sad to see, but that is what the all-in scenario is all about. You can put yourself into the position to increase the chances of winning a Super Bowl, but you cannot guarantee it. If you're not at 100% in one playoff game, if you're not performing to the best of your ability, you will lose, and there will be another team that's just a little bit more lucky. In the all-in scenario, we gave our best, we traded away everything we had to get the best players available. We made it to the Super Bowl, but did not win it. So how would a scenario of rebuilding the team from the beginning look like?